Well, good morning, kids. Pastor Al here. Thanks for joining me this morning. It was nice and cool for a couple days, and then it got hot again, didn't it? I'm starting to get a little tired of this. Hey, I'm going to talk about helping people today. And I know that we all would like to help people when people need help. We all have pretty big hearts when it gets right down to it. And you find a lot of ways and a lot of times you can help people. And sometimes it's an easy thing to do. What I've discovered is that a lot of times when you go to help somebody, it's not always easy. And sometimes the person is not always sure they need or want help. And sometimes it's, well, just a bother. I want to show you a video. Well, yeah, there's a dog in it. It's from another country. And what happens is there's a dog in a side yard. And somehow there's a fabric awning over where he is on the side of the house. It gets torn. He somehow gets caught in it, and it winds up getting wrapped around his middle section. Now, he's obviously scared and annoyed, but more than that, it's kind of dangerous because if that got tight enough, was on long enough, it could cut off his blood flow, it could damage internal organs, and a policeman comes by and sees him there and decides that he needs to do something to help. Why don't you watch this?
¿Cómo voy a abrir la puerta? No me falta la llave. Ah, ya, ya. Hay que quitarse arriba. Así he estado todo el día.
Now that guy was very brave, wasn't he? And you notice the dog? Well, he wasn't really sure what he wanted. He was scared. He kind of got aggressive and kind of kept nipping at the policeman. And the policeman didn't give up. He kept working and working carefully as he could. And it was so cool at the very end when he finally gets him free. The dog is like, "Oh, thank you, you're my buddy." Gives him a hug. That was cool. But on the way to getting there, it was kind of scary and dangerous for the policeman, wasn't it? Now, this just kind of reminds me that sometimes when we go to help people, it's not always easy. You don't just walk up and give them something they need and have them smile and walk away. If you've got a good friend or someone who you're trying to help, it may not be easy and it may take a while, and you may have to keep at it for a while. And the results may not be entirely pleasing to you. There's a story I'm going to be looking at with your parents and grandparents today. Jesus comes down off a mountain and his disciples are trying to heal a boy who's very sick. And they initially weren't successful. They tried and they failed. And then they got angry with each other and they started arguing with people, and Jesus comes down off the mountain. It's just a mess. And he tells them to be quiet, and he's able to heal the boy. Of course he is. And then later on he says you need to have more faith. Now that can mean a lot of things. But I think for them, in this case, what it meant was, yeah, it was hard. Don't give up. Keep trying. And eventually you'll be successful. So I just want to get a very simple message for you today. Just like the policeman who helped the dog. Sometimes when you go to help somebody, it's not easy. It's not straightforward. Sometimes it takes longer than you think. And sometimes the person you're trying to help may not really like the idea of being helped. But that doesn't mean you stop. Now, it doesn't always mean you'll be successful, but it means that you need to keep trying. Because most of the time when we go to help someone, it takes a lot of effort. Now, in the end, when you ultimately have done someone a real favor and done something really good for them, most of the time, just like this dog, they're pretty grateful and you really helped them, and that's a great thing. But just remember, when you go to help somebody, sometimes you got to have faith, and you got to be patient, and you got to wait for the right time for things to work. Don't give up too easy. Thanks, kids. Enjoy the day. Bye-bye. Man, this nose has been itching the whole video.